Indianapolis 500, this ABC Sports exclusive, brought to you by Cadillac and your Cadillac dealer, creating a higher standard. Craftsman, a line of 1,600 hand tools made in America, guaranteed forever, only at Sears. The Valvoline Performance Team, and Miller Lite, great taste, less filling. Can your beer do this?
Well, with the stop by Emerson Fittipaldi and Al Unser Jr., Jacques Villeneuve picked up the lead of the race, but he is already on the pit road. As we look at the rookies and how they are doing here today at Indianapolis, one of those things that we covered in the pregame to this race. But now here is young Villeneuve, who is really driving a spectacular race.
What does this remind you of? A young Mario Andretti to me.
Well, I'll tell you, it's the best rookie I've seen here for a long time.
And Paul, by this fuel stop, this team ought to be able to make the rest of this race in only 3 stops. They are going to take as much fuel as they possibly can. You can see they've dropped the jack, and they are just going to take a full load and put Villeneuve back in 16.5 seconds, a very quick stop.
I don't think you had to worry about him stalling that engine leaving the pits either. He had plenty of revs, and he was spinning those tires.
While he was in the pits, Emerson Fittipaldi picked up the lead of the race once again. Last we saw Scott Brayton, he was stopped in the pits for a lengthy stop, and Gary Gerald, that's gone from bad to worse.
Indeed, Paul, he's out of the car. They take out the spark plug, something in the engine, badly fouled plug here. Scott had run as high as 4th. You had a couple of close calls, you said out there. You nearly got nailed in a couple of those incidents.
Yeah, well, the first one was when I believe it was Groff and somebody else hit. I had to go down in the grass to keep from getting hit, and then Patolo come around me and hit Nigel on that warm-up lane into caution.
How tough is it to just be in one race this year?
Well, I'm hoping that we're going to get to do more, but we've got a lot of testing scheduled for the off-season right after this race, and I don't know how many races I'll be running, but it felt good to get out there and race with the guys.
Thanks, Scott. Paul?
Now that spark plug, I look at that thing, it's not a foul spark plug, it's just a slight correction on that. That's engine pieces from the piston that are in it.
There didn't look like there was a whole lot left.
John Andretti stalled there. John Andretti in the pits. He stalled the engine. We've been trying to locate both Mike Groff and Roberto Guerrero so we could talk with them, but they've left the track apparently frustrated with their performance today.
We got
Here is Emerson
coming in.
Fittipaldi. You got it, Danny. Emerson Fittipaldi.
Yeah, this is definitely unscheduled. This is unscheduled. He's got some kind of a problem if he's coming in right now. He just pitted.
And Danny, what the problem is he's picked up some debris in the radiator. They have been trying to stay on top of it on every stop. You'll see a crew member reach to the inside the tunnel area of the side pods. There they go, Rick Reineman covering one side, another crewman on the other. They're trying to clean it out. They're beginning, and you can hear a little bit of a misfire as he began to pick up the throttle, but he's off and away.
Remember, these engines will get pretty hot. It only takes a little bit. They're setting their turn about 9,500 on the Mercedes engine, and it only takes a little bit. And remember, the drivers can't watch the problems all the time. The problem was probably discovered via the telemetry to the computers.
Okay, and one other thing that they did there, you notice that they refueled the car again. So he will be out of step a little bit with Little Al.
So they started with 3 cars, the Penske team. Paul Tracy dropped out. Now Emerson Fittipaldi has had trouble, and Al Unser Jr. leads the race.
And you got to remember, everybody, that these radiators, when the cars are made, are all very marginal. They're made just to barely cool because the smaller the radiators, the faster they go down the straightaway. So any hot dog wrappers, hamburger wrappers get in there, just ruins the cooling.
So Al Unser Jr. picks up the lead of the race as his teammate Fittipaldi makes an unscheduled stop to get that debris out of the radiators and coolers on his car. And there's Little Al, the pole sitter. The best start he's ever had at the Indianapolis 500. He led the early laps. Fittipaldi with the stop drops back into second. Villeneuve with his stop drops back into third.
You know, Paul, on the radiators, again, back in the old days, they used to put screens and bevel them out. And now today they make venturis out of the radiators just like they do underneath the cars, and they suck and draw the air through. So that's the reason they're like a vacuum cleaner.
Let's go back to the Penske pits and Jack.
Paul, you know a racing car can cost as much as $500,000. This plastic bag probably cost maybe 2 cents. This is exactly what found its way into the radiator pod of Emerson Fittipaldi's car. It might cost him $1 million in a win in the Indy 500.
Most expensive plastic bag on the planet. Al Unser Jr. leads. Fittipaldi second. Ray Hall continues to run steadily in fourth place with Michael Andretti fifth, Jimmy Vasser sixth. And there we take a look down. Let's take a look at what they look like as we watch them. Fittipaldi, there he is in second, and the young rookie. And then Bobby Rahal, Michael Andretti, and Jimmy Vasser. We'll be back as the 78th Indy 500 continues.